Florida State has the lead over Clemson 28-20. Hey fans, keep up to date with everything CSS. Interact with us and our hosts on Twitter or Facebook. And for current schedules, program information, and the latest hot topic blogs, visit our website, css-sports.com. It's the easiest way to find out what's going on at CSS. Visit us today. Last lead for Clemson was at the 11-minute mark, and right there, Petaway has the advantage and diminishes the Florida State lead to 6.
I like the way Petaway did a good job establishing her position early and deep on the block in the paint.
Davis gets fouled by Petaway there. Her second personal.
Well, Florida State has had so much success shooting the three that we haven't really seen the ball getting back into the post as much. But I like the decision by the guards to look it in when you have a post working hard, trying to establish position on the block.
Last year, Florida State had one of the best three-point shooters in the country in Courtney Ward. She graduated. Rodriguez and DeLuzio have been filling that void, but last game, Florida State was 0 for 5 against Miami beyond the arc. This game, it looks like that was the message early on. Get it going beyond the three-point line.
They're really heating it up, and you know the thing about three-point shooting is you can live and you can die by it, so you have to be able to get another part of your offensive game going. But it's good for Florida State tonight that they were already able to set the tone from beyond the three-point range.
Good defense by Bresnahan here. Ford inside. Looks for a streaking Mason, rejected from behind by Howard. Dixon puts it up off the front heel, and Clayton will have it for the Seminoles. 7 blocks for Florida State tonight.
They're doing such a good job. That second line of defense is so strong. You know, you have Howard inside, you have Chelsea Davis doing a good job, Brevard when she's not in foul trouble. That is how they get so many great blocks. They're good at defensive positioning and helping each other in that second line of defense.
That was an offensive foul on Howard that time, so Clemson will have the possession. Second one on her. 7-point lead for the Seminoles here at Little John Coliseum. Dixon over to Ford. Step back, two-pointer in and out. Shots just not falling for the Lady Tigers.
Getting some good looks, some good uncontested shots, especially off the dribble right now. Just got to get them to fall in your arena.
Another call here against Clemson on Ford. Team 6 personal. Christy McCube will check in for the first time tonight in replace of Chelsea Davis.
So much height and length on Florida State's roster. It seems like you lose a 6'3" player, boom, another one's right back in the lineup for them. They definitely don't lose size when they go to the bench.
Bresnahan thought about the three, instead passed it up to Howard. Rodriguez searching for a 2-ball, that spirals out. But Howard was tripped up inside the circle, and this again will go against Clemson. Yeah, looks like Mason.
Yeah. They're going up and more than anything trying to really do a good job boxing out against Howard, but Carter as she was coming down from the rebound.
Tasha Howard, the 6'3" sophomore from Toledo, Ohio, will stand at the free throw line here.
We've seen Howard remain incredibly active on the offensive glass and getting some second chance opportunities for her squad. But what you don't notice is sometimes away from the ball, she is doing a lot of things defensively, just getting out and helping. She stays active the entire game. It's very impressive to me, especially from a sophomore.
Do you see a little Shanice Johnson in there from Miami in Howard?
I can see definitely an All-American type player, caliber player, and what she's going to be able to do for Florida State. I mean, I really like what she brings to the table.
Johnson's a player who scored over 2,000 points in Miami. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, Shanice Johnson, Raquana Williams at Miami. Big matchup against Duke in the ACC. But those two are some of the best 1-2 guard combo that you can find anywhere in the nation.
That was on Bresnahan there for Florida State, her first personal. And Dunn will go to the free throw line. Remember, Clemson's last lead around the 11-minute mark. Trying to fall back in this one. And a bright spot for Victoria Coleman's team is the fact that Florida State is not blowing them out of the water here. It looked like they were going to do that, but instead Clemson calmed down a bit.
Yeah, you always want your team to be able to answer. Whenever Florida State goes on a run, Coach Coleman is really stressing to her team to find a way to get a defensive stop and have an answer. I mean, that's the key to staying in ball games.
Done with 4 points tonight. Here's Rodriguez, a little out of control there, and it will go the other way. Another turnover on the Seminoles.
Clemson doing a good job on defense. When they extend past the three-point line, get out and defend the perimeter, they have been able to produce some turnovers on Florida State.
Mr. Semrau will call a timeout, talk things over. Clemson only down 6 here with under 2 minutes to go. Mr. Sue Semrau, what are you telling your team at this juncture?
I think we're doing such a good job on defense. You're really going to have to stress the good defensive rotations on the perimeter again. And she probably wants to get in a good offensive play the next time that they do have the ball. They do such a good job at slowing down and executing. I think she just wants to get a good look in the next possession.
We mentioned the tough year Florida State is having. They lost 8 games by 7 points or less. And it seemingly comes down to maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, we were talking to Deluzio before the game and shoot around, and it's just a couple of possessions that we're losing right now. And so we stopped looking at wins and losses and more about, so what could we control and what can we do better? And I think that is important as a coach and as a team to focus on something like that instead of getting caught up in wins and losses, especially when some of them can be viewed as a heartbreak.
Done outside to Gramlich. The spot up for a 2-ball, and it's way short, and Bresnahan will have it. Minute 40 left in the first half. Makube with her first 2 points of the contest.
Yeah, that's a great high-low pass that time by Davis, getting it into Makube, and a good finish. You see, keeping her body in the spacing, protecting the ball, and finishing with the left hand.
Inside to Mason, good spin move, and Mason has her way.
Oh, I love that move, spinning away from the defense and turning it on. That's a great senior move right there.
Clemson trailing by just 6. Rodriguez gives it up to Bresnahan. A deuce from the corner. She was fouled in the act of shooting. Mason was the culprit. Second personal on Mason.
You always hate to see a foul on the shooter, but you see here Mason really trying to close out, just kind of lost control at the last second. I mean, it's a good call. There was some contact on the release.
Mason likes to get in there quick when someone tries to go up and shoot the basketball. She leads this team in blocks, second in the conference. Last game she had 6 total blocks, and she's not physically imposing when you look at her, but she did say she played volleyball, and so did you, Maria.
That's where it is. I mean, it's in your volleyball DNA to attack every single ball that is in your vicinity. That's what she was doing.
She said she was a middle blocker, but chose basketball, just loved scoring some points instead of recording some kills.
Like this hardwood, instead of a little bit shorter volleyball court. Understandable.
Ford battling with Makube. Dixon on the baseline and went out of bounds, and it will go to Florida State. You're not going to see Clemson run a lot. They're a team that doesn't score a lot of fast break points, but they like to get in that half-court offense. How do you assess that early on?
I mean, they're doing a pretty good job in their transition. I would like to see them more when they do slow it down, make a good decision with the ball. I just think we've seen a couple of turnovers that are very, very unforced, and I think as a coach, those are the most heart-wrenching turnovers you can have.
Davis was fouled there. Ford was on the defensive side for Clemson. Under 30 seconds to go in this first half, and Florida State goes back to the free throw line.
Well, you hate to see fouls that stop the clock and allow Florida State to get points right now. If you're Clemson, you're trying to close out on the lead a little bit. You don't want to continue to put the Noles on the charity stripe.
4 points tonight for Davis. Deja Hawkins will come in for the first time for Clemson. She replaces Mason, who's in a little bit of foul trouble. Both coaches going to their benches here in the first half.
Yeah, we have 2 big men in foul trouble. Brevard has 3 fouls. Mason really want to protect and not get any more in these last 27 seconds. Good
hustle by Makube as she crashed into the press area. She appears to be all right. She beat almost half of her defenders down there. Shot clock is unplugged here. Bresnahan can hold for the last shot. 3 seconds for Clayton. Good defense there by Dunn. And that will do it for the first half. Impressive by Florida State. They started out 2 for 16, but culminated the first half on a 9-14 shooting.
They completely turned it around, looked for the good shot, and really executed on offense to end the first half.
The Tor Coleman squad has a lot to talk about in the locker room. Florida State has the lead as we reach halftime here at Little John.